So finally, I decided to make this video and express my deepest opinions about something I guess I would say or consider major that will be happening to Rainbow Six Siege very soon. I'm guessing, or in a few weeks. I'm not 100% sure when this will happen. I didn't, research that much into it, but I just kind of wanted to talk about something that has kind of been, a talk within the Rainbow Six Siege community, especially among, the big Rainbow Six Siege YouTubers that I do, to an extent follow or subscribe to, depending on which ones they are, because there's so many of them, and, I do want to get valuable information, and I do tune in to, other YouTubers, because I am a small channel, and then, they have more connections on knowing certain information that I don't have the privilege of knowing, because they probably know that prior to anything else. They might actually be in touch with the developers or whatnot. So I just want to express my 2 cents, my opinions about a few key things, several things that are going to be happening to Rainbow Six Siege, and kind of want to express my opinions on it. One is the Vigil Nurf that will be happening. Obviously, a new gadget, which is a undestructible I can't say it's undestructible, but a camera that is you can't just shoot at it. You have to go to the side of it to shoot it out and destroy it, which will dramatically alter the meta. And then obviously a few things that might come about that. Oh, and also the SMG 11 nerf or whatever. Apparently that thing's getting a nerf as well, so more recoil, and how that's going to affect Smoke because of his, how everybody uses his secondary instead of his primary. Will these new gadgets render Valkyrie useless? And kind of my opinions on that, because I wanted to go all out and actually talk about this, give my 2 cents and my opinions on it. And, I think there's been, several YouTubers that have actually touched on all these topics. And I'm pretty sure that, if you're in tune with Rainbow Six Siege, you're most likely subscribed or watch, the other YouTubers. But I wanted to express my 2 cents and my opinions, because my opinions might differ. Some people may claim that, if you're a Vigil main, that you might be kind of more upset about, the nerf that he's getting. I believe that it will make him a little bit more, less of a roamer, more so of an actual defender as he's intended to be. I do like Vigil. I don't consider him my main. I don't really have a main character that I prefer, because I like certain aspects of every character. I like of so many different gadgets that I still have not yet decided which operator is my favorite. So Vigil I do like, because I do like his gun. His gadget is useful. It can be useful in the very beginning of the round, if you don't want to be spotted exactly where you are, but they'll know that there is a Vigil regardless. And then obviously it's a good counter to Dokkaebi, which can hack cameras after taking down a player, which that makes her gadget kind of on that level useless, because then, yes, okay, she can phone in your phone calls, but she can also hack the cameras. So if you're a Vigil and you know that the cameras have been hacked, you can always use that to your advantage very significantly. So in some kind of sense, I do feel that the nerf is a little bit dramatic, but it's still doable. You can still utilize it and still use it, so people shouldn't be too upset about it. Vigil is still a good operator. I really do like him. I would say he's probably in my top 10 simply because he's got a great gun. It's probably one of those weapons that I do enjoy using. I like the style of it. I like the way it looks, and I like the way it handles, and I do pretty decent with Vigil. I don't do perfect with Vigil. There's other operators that I would choose over Vigil, but I do like Vigil. I do find him very useful, and I don't want to be a dick about it, but his ability, if you know how to fully utilize it, it is really hard on attackers. So nerfing that makes it a little bit easy on attackers, but that doesn't mean that it completely makes him or renders him useless. He's still quite useful just because his weapon is pretty good. Now, talking about this gadget is basically a camera that you can place on the floor. I don't know why you would do that, but some people might find a use for putting it on the floor. I wish maybe you can put it on the floor in an angle where it's still facing a direction where it's kind of like it's on the wall, but it's more hidden. That would be potentially interesting, kind of like how you set down a mute charges or mute jammers or Jaeger's thing where you can deploy it in a certain way. Maybe if you were able to put the camera where it's still facing how it would face on the wall instead of it laying down up, and then you're looking up. I don't know why you would do that. If you can plant it in a way where you can choose the angle of it and kind of hide it somewhere, I think that would make it useful. Maybe that would be a little bit too overpowered, but not every defensive operator has the ability to use this particular gadget. But it makes the meta very interesting. And actually, ironically, Vigil is one of them that can place one of those cameras. Technically, there is 5, if not, I think it's 5 or more operators that can use this gadget. I think that maybe half of the defenders should be able to use this gadget and half shouldn't be able to. I don't know why you would have 5 defenders using that camera. Those cameras, it would be very useful. You could really be very campy and not move and kind of know how to keep the enemy from getting to the objective maybe, but I don't think anybody would ever use all the 5 operators on defensive that have the cameras, because not all those operators in unison would be useful. Now when it comes to the gadget, how it's it's hard to destroy the camera. You can't just shoot at it. You have to go to the side of it and shoot it on the side. Pretty sure you can blow it up with a grenade, or use Ash's launcher, or maybe Zophia's rocket or grenade launcher thing. Maybe you can use those to destroy it. I'm pretty sure you can use a Twitch drone to hit it on the side. If you don't have anything to destroy it, you can take and shoot it from the side. But that also exposes you, because you have to go to the side and somebody could be overlooking that camera and guarding that camera. I'm guessing if there's 2 defensive players that have those cameras, then in that sense, you're going to be guarding those cameras. So expect, if you're an attacker, that someone is guarding that camera. So if if it's placed where you have to expose yourself, you're going to be exposing yourself and then leading to your ultimate demise. So either way, it's more so difficult to take it out, but it's not impossible, is what I'm trying to say. So placement of that gadget is very important. Now, when it comes to, is this going to make Valkyrie not useful? Actually, I don't think it affects Valkyrie at all. I still consider Valkyrie incredibly useful, because you can place her cameras anywhere. The only difference is those cameras that Valkyrie has are easier to destroy. It depends. Some people are good at detecting them. Some people are terrible at detecting them. You can hide them in places. You can throw them outside to get kind of like a heads up on where the players are going to be entering, so you can kind of predict their movements and predict their strategy. So I think Valkyrie and her ability and usefulness does not change whatsoever, because you can't throw those cameras. You have to place them. Valkyrie's cameras you can throw. So no, it doesn't make Valkyrie useless at all. In the background, there is some basic terrorist hunt. I just wanted to. This video is more so about commentary than the actual gameplay. I was using Dokkaebi. I had some fun. It was just for casual play, casual fun. Now about the SMG-11 nerf and Smoke. Smoke's secondary weapon is the SMG-11, and it's what most people will use. That apparently is receiving a nerf. It's a sad thing, but what I think they should do, and I think that they might actually do, since people have actually made, very good points about how it's going to render Smoke useless on some level. They might as well as, buff his primary weapon, because that thing sucks so much ass. That weapon is garbage, and they should definitely buff, Smoke's primary weapon, or just give him a fucking different weapon. For fuck's sakes, that weapon blows. So that's why people use the secondary SMG-11, because it's better than his primary weapon. So ultimately, yes, it's going to help other players that already have a good primary weapon, so they don't have an overpowered secondary weapon. But in the same time, it seems that it might make Smoke useless. I believe that, I have assumptions, and I know that I'm jumping to conclusions and or having way too many assumptions on this topic. But I feel that there probably is going to be a huge buff or change to Smoke coming in the near future, probably with this patch or the following patch after. Especially once people have a huge outcry that Smoke is useless, because I like Smoke. I like his gadget. What the fuck, Ubisoft? But anywho, I'm the Mitten. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely hit that like button. Definitely leave me a comment letting me know what you think. Definitely subscribe. Hit that bell to get notified every time I upload. And that's all I gotta say. Peace.